Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode / video of Let's Talk But No Politics Okay presents This Week in Pop Culture History Review. And this video will be going over all the happenings in pop culture history for the week of April 12th through April 18th. I'm your host, Andrew Lenz, and just sit back, enjoy this video, and I just want to tell you, thank you for watching this video right before we even start. And also, you can check out new episodes of Let's Talk But No Politics Okay every Sunday on the BICBP Radio Network, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and I do believe Amazon Music as well as bonus episodes every Friday, 7 p.m. on the Helium Radio Network. So if this is your first time coming to this video or listening to this episode, I post things that happen in pop culture history on my Facebook page, Let's Talk But No Politics Okay, throughout the week. And this video just kind of gives you a review in case you missed something or you don't want to go back and scroll through. I will get everything going for you with this video. So, without further ado, let's go. April 12th, 1995, Drew Barrymore flashes David Letterman on The Late Show. Okay, this one's interesting. It's very interesting because this is Drew Barrymore still a little bit of a wild side. I think she did it because it was Dave Letterman's birthday. I do remember watching this. I was probably 13, 14 years old, maybe around in that age. And I was like, wow, did she just do that? I've always had a huge crush on Drew Barrymore. So it's nothing crazy. I mean, nothing crazy for me. I was like, yeah, this made The Late Show really, really good. And I think it's something that stands out in the greatest moments of all time over there as well. So it's pretty crazy. And it's so hard to think because Drew Barrymore is a lot more tame now than what she was then. I know she had some problems and everything else, but this is very interesting. So April 12th, 1995, Drew Barrymore flashes Dave Letterman on The Late Show. All right, let's get into April 13th, 1994, Serial Mom premieres. What a great, just cult movie where this mother takes control of the family. You know, you just think she's the perfect stay-at-home mom. She does everything amazing until you mess with her kids, and then she gets a little crazy. She starts going around murdering people. I think one of my favorite things is when she makes the prank phone call to the neighbor, like on a daily basis, trying to hide her voice. I believe it's Kathleen Turner in there, Sam Waterston, I want to say Matt Lillard, Ricky Lake's in it. Just an overall pretty decent cast. Is that Matthew Lillard? I do believe it is. But pretty overall cast. I mean, I loved watching this movie as a kid. Just the craziness of seeing this almost split personality go through her and how she switches on a dime from going from one thing to another. And it also has probably one of a lost job in America in the video rental store. I believe her son works at the video rental store, and it kind of that takes on its whole life of its own. Flea markets. She just projects this all-American. I'm sorry for the spoilers. Projects this image of this all-American woman, but then all of a sudden, a switch gets flipped pretty quick at certain points. So I suggest you check out Serial Mom 100%. Go check that out because that premiered on April 13th. Next one, April 14th, 1989, Say Anything premieres in theaters. Say Anything is a great movie. Has a very iconic scene. John Cusack, holding up the boombox. Something else that you wouldn't see today. I love watching 80s movies because of that. Stuff that you won't see today, but you were like, wow, that's pretty cool. Nobody's doing that. I think somebody would just hold up their cell phone or maybe a Bluetooth speaker. But he's holding up the boombox, playing, I believe it's Peter Gabriel's or In These Eyes or something like that. I know, but it's a good movie. Boy falls in love with girl, does anything to get her back. Jeremy Piven plays a little role in it. And that's probably one of my favorite scenes where he breaks up with the girl, kind of. Spoiler alerts. There's always going to be spoiler alerts. Kind of breaks up with the girl. Then he's like partying behind a gas station with some guys who are just drinking with them, and they're giving him life lessons and everything else. But if you've never seen Say Anything, please go see Say Anything. Great movie. John Cusack really knows how to pick great roles, and this was a great role for Mr. John Cusack. So, April 14th, 1989, Say Anything premieres in theaters. April 15th, 1990, A Living Color premieres on Fox. Before this, the only sketch comedy shows I really knew were SNL and SCTV. If you lived close to the border, that had John Candy, Eugene Levy, Dave Thomas, not the Wendy's Dave Thomas, and Rick Moranis. So SCTV was pretty big. And then A Living Color came out, and it was very different, and a lot of memorable characters on there, from Homie the Clown, Fire Marshal Bill. Probably the two biggest actors to get boosted out of there was Jim Carrey and Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx was later on. Jennifer Lopez was one of the Fly Girls. But it was just a great cast of characters and great sketch comedy. And overall, I don't think there was ever a bad sketch. And they helped change the way that we look at a halftime show, because they did a halftime show, I believe in Super Bowl 26. They had the halftime show, which was pretty amazing, because it was like, hey, don't watch this, watch In Living Color. And you were like, yeah, okay, I'm going to go watch A Living Color, because halftime shows normally suck. I'm not going to lie. Back then, a lot of them sucked till they started bringing out, like, I think one was the New Kids on the Block, but David Allen Greer, Tommy Davidson, Keenan Ivory Wayans, Damon Wayans, Marlon Wayans, I believe, was on here for a little bit. I know Sean Wayans was. At first, he was the DJ. SW1, Spin It. Just such a great cast. It's very underrated, and I think some people may forget it, and some people may not, but A Living Color, I think, gave also Saturday Night Live a run for their money. So that's where they stand in this ranking of pop culture. Change. It's always good to have change. But April 15th, 1990, A Living Color premieres on Fox. So, April 16th, 1994, all that premieres on Nickelodeon. Here's another sketch comedy show, which is more for kids. Another great one. Keenan and Kel were on there. Laurie Vettenberg, I believe her name was, but some really great characters. I know the little Pete from Pete and Pete went over in years later, but some great things. The chef that puts chocolate on everything. Fix It Man, Super Dude. I'm trying to think. Oh, Good Burger got its start. I think if you have a sketch comedy show and then all of a sudden you can get a movie out of it, that is pretty amazing. And that's what they did with this, is they got Good Burger going from just simple all that. And it's pretty awesome. And started Keenan and Kel off on the Keenan and Kel show. Also, now we got Kenan Thompson having his own show, years on Saturday Night Live. Very, very funny. But all that was great. Pop it on Snick, get some great sketch comedy, more children humor than, the Saturday Night Lives, the Living Colors, or anything like that. But it was still a great show for that time. Not gonna lie, I watched it. I don't know a kid alive that didn't watch Snick within this time period. Everybody watched Snick. But all that is classic, and I think it's, in my mind, iconic as well. Just for what they created with the kids, it made anything possible, I think, in my mind. Today in history, April 16th, 1994, all that premieres on Nickelodeon. Let's go over to, here we are, April 17th, 1937, so we're going way back. Daffy Duck debuts in Porky's Duck Hunt. So all the way back in 1937, we get our first introduction. The world gets their first introduction. My first introduction was not in 1937. I think of most people, I wonder if most people listening to this, if their first introduction to Daffy Duck was in 1937 as well. But the world gets introduced to Daffy Duck. Another iconic Looney Tune, second fiddle to Bugs Bunny, I guess you could say, but some of the classic things that they've battled over, here's Bugs Bunny. He is the heap. When you think Looney Tunes, you think Bugs Bunny, and then you have Daffy Duck. So Daffy Duck has carried on for many, 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 many years, obviously, from everything going on. I don't see my childhood being, well, I can't say being too great, but there would be a childhood memory missing if we didn't have Daffy Duck and the great battles between whether it was rabbit season or duck season. Who would know what season it was? Would it always be duck season then? Because there would be no Daffy Duck and he would not be able to change the sign to rabbit season? I don't know, but he is very, very iconic, and he is peanut butter. Him and Bugs Bunny are like peanut butter and jelly. They go great together, even though they kind of have an oil and water type relationship. How can I always be number one all the way? One of my favorite things with Daffy Duck was, it wasn't even really Looney Tunes. It was Roger Rabbit with the piano battle between him and Donald Duck. Very awesome. Always takes a great place in my mind. But that is where we are with Daffy Duck. April 18th, 2003, Malibu's Most Wanted premieres in theaters. Here's another great kind of cult movie. Is it the greatest movie ever? No. I know this. Is it going to win any Academy Awards? No. I don't think it will. Is it going to make win any Sundance festivals, make any film critics, best movies of all time list? No. But what it is it's just a funny thing. Just a funny kind of feel-good movie of B-Rad taking on, this persona from a child being influenced by rap and hip-hop music, by picking up, spoiler alerts, by picking up the maid's headset and listening to Run DMC and getting that, that hip-hop vibe into his head where he's like, wow, this sounds really good. Because I think we all have that in some sort of music that we've listened to from our childhood, where we listen to it and we're like, wow, that sounds really good. I could definitely listen to this forever because that's how good it is. And that's what happens to him, but he takes on this lifestyle of this gangster kind of thug, even though he's not from that world. He is from the rich neighborhoods of Malibu, and father politician, like I said, spoilers. is trying to, get him out of the picture so that way he could try and win this election, feeling an embarrassment. And he goes on this wacky adventure. And overall, it's a good movie if you want a good little laugh. I mean, I wouldn't say seek it out if you're like, oh my goodness, I got to watch a great movie. But it got some lines. Chapstick, looking for my chapstick. Oh, there goes a Ford Maverick. Classic rap line from that movie. But please go check that out. April 18th, 2003, Malibu's Most Wanted premieres in theaters. And that is that week in review. So thank you for listening or watching this video or episode. And remember, check out new episodes of Let's Talk But No Politics. Okay, every Sunday on the BICBP Radio Network, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Please go check that out. Bonus episodes every Friday, 7 p.m. Helium Radio Network. Go check out the Facebook channel for Let's Talk But No Politics, okay? Also, please check out the YouTube channel because there's other great content. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Do some retro gameplay as well. So playing some old video games, not the best at them, but I'm still going to play them. And also, if you're in the Western New York area and you want to get into podcasting, please go check out the Podcast Precinct. You can look them up on Facebook. Please message them. Great facility, great studio, great prices as well. And with that being said, good morning, good afternoon, and good night.